Hello and welcome to another wonderful video. Today we're going to be doing another Pony Town Wishlist video. Now, the last one I did 6. Originally I was going to do like 7 to 10 in the original video, but once I got around to the 6th one, I realized how long it was going, so I decided to kind of shorten these videos down to 5 different wishlist ideas per video. So this is 5 more things that I would love to see happen to Pony Town, things that I would love to have added. And again, just like in the last video, I want to stress it that these are things that I think personally should be added or could be added, and it would be a fun thing to add. And they're just my ideas, and some of them may or may not be something that you have thought of or something that you agree or disagree with. And if you do agree with any of these ideas and you want any of these ideas in Pony Town, or you have any of your own that you don't see on the list, please feel free to comment them in the comment section below, and I'll talk about those in a future video. So anyway, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So starting off at number 1, and this is one that I've wanted since they started houses, and it's rotating furniture. There needs to be some way to rotate the furniture before you place it. So the beds, for example, they're always horizontal, they're never vertical. It would be wonderful to be able to rotate them to a vertical point so that I can put it in a certain way and kind of decorate the house in that way. Maybe some things are rotatable, but other things maybe not. For example, the bookshelves, I don't really know how well they would work if they were rotated. That you probably wouldn't look very good if they were, so maybe not be able to rotate those, or give us that option anyway, because you know maybe you can do some really wonderful art with that. So rotating furniture, being able to rotate something like a tree, I don't really know how that would work exactly. So some things maybe not rotatable, but other things like chests, carpet, the bed and the mattress and stuff like that they added recently, you should be able to rotate some of these items, or if not all of them. And yeah, just rotating furniture, there's really not much to say about that. So let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is extra houses, extra party island homes, which is something, again, I've wanted since the very beginning of the game. To be honest, I actually kind of thought you would get multiple homes or whatever, that you would be able to save it and then be able to load another one or something like that. But that's not really the case. You only get one house, and whatever you do to this house is more or less permanent until you decide to change it. So essentially this idea is to give us house slots, and to load a house, instead of just using /load house, it would be /load house 1 or /load house 2 or /load house 3, and you have like a different house for each slot. So if you did load house 2, then you would get a different home than you would in load house 1, unless you haven't made one for the other 2. I think this would be really good, especially for Patreon members. They could add additional house slots and stuff like that. So if you were a supporter in some way or something, maybe you could get like a 4th and 5th slot or something like that, but generally they would probably keep it to like 3 slots or something like that. I think it would be really nice to be able to give us at least a few more extra slots for these houses, just a few more homes or something like that. I think that would be really nice, and it would allow for a lot more customization and that sort of thing too. I made a board game in my house. I don't know if you know that. You probably do. You've probably seen the video. I'm going to try and put it up on a card or something. But essentially I made a board game in my house, and because I did that, it was really hard to really just do anything to the house. So I just have to keep this board game, and I can't make an extra house. It would be wonderful to have these extra homes, because then I can put the board game in one of them, and then maybe another board game in one of them, and then like a real house in another one, and then maybe another real house, another board game, something like that. It would be wonderful to have that option, because you know there's just so much that can be, it just opens up so many possibilities. So anyway, let's move on to number 3, which I think is again, this kind of goes back into the homes and stuff like that, the party islands. There's a lot they really need to do with the party homes, I think, and number 3 is no exception to that. I think number 3, we need wall designs and wallpapers. So right now all we have is like flooring. I don't want to call it like I really don't even want to call it flooring, because there's like literally water that you can place and stuff. So we'll call it flooring, because that makes it easier. Right now they have flooring, but they don't really have any way to change the wall design. It doesn't really make any sense that you can't change the wall designs if you can change everything else. You should be able to get stuff like stone walls, maybe a brick wall, something like cave walls. I mentioned it in the previous video where I said that there should be, you know, more cave style decor for the home homes and stuff like that. It would be really nice if they expanded on that even further and allowed us to get more unique walls and stuff like that. So yeah, just extra walls, wallpapers, that sort of thing. So like different designs on the walls basically is what I'm saying. And definitely, I'm not saying just limit this to the wall tool. Don't limit it to the wall tool. Allow us to actually change the back wall, the wall that is just that plain ugly looking wooden panel wall. Allow us to change that as well as the walls that are placed in the world itself. Anyway, moving on to number 4, I think Earth Ponies finally need an ability. They're the only ones that don't have anything special about them right now. Pegasi can fly. Unicorns finally got their magic. It's time for the Earth Ponies to finally get something. And I'm not 100% sure what you can give them, but I have thought of 2 ideas that I'm just going to throw out here in this video. So, bucking. Right now you can boop, but there's no bucking or anything like that. I think it would be really interesting if, you know, bucking is like an emote that only Earth Ponies can do or something like that. So yeah, bucking would be a really great thing to just add for the Earth Ponies. If not that, I also thought maybe something plant-based where maybe you like do like a digging animation or something like that, or something that would be plant-based. Maybe you plant a flower or something like that. I'm not really sure what it could be. Maybe you interact with plants in a certain way. I think there used to be flowers around the map. I'm not sure about that. I would have to double check, but put flowers around the map or something like that and make it to where only Earth Ponies can pick it up or something to that effect. Give us the ability to do something to trees, maybe the bucking animation that I mentioned. Maybe you can buck trees and that would like do some kind of special thing. Maybe apple will fall out of it, maybe some random fruit will fall out of it, and that will allow for people to have a lot more fun with that, because if you buck a tree and something random comes out of it, that adds so many possible like little mini games that people can come up with themselves. Like you can do like stuff like, oh, I bet this will fall out or something like that. You can make bets, which you probably shouldn't. I mean, if you're gonna make bets, then you probably got a gambling addiction or probably a little bit of a gambling problem, but that's besides the point. If something random came out of it though, that allows for possibilities of stuff like if you're doing like a Dungeons and Dragons roleplay or just a roleplay in general, you can do something along the lines of like, oh, this fell out of the tree, so this should happen. So yeah, different stuff like that. Just some kind of special Earth Pony ability or something. I think that would be really great. Just throw that in there. Earth Ponies don't have anything, and it's finally time for them to have something. So finally, at number 5 here, I want to talk about party games. Now, we don't have any like actual games in this game yet. We don't have any mini games at all. Right now, you just can go around like collecting clovers, which I'm pretty sure they removed. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe they just removed it for the season. But right now, all you can really do is go around collecting like clovers, presents if it's Christmas, candy if it's Halloween, that sort of thing. And right now, there's not a whole lot to do. I have come up with like 10 things to do in a separate video, so you can go watch that if you want to. But essentially, there's not a lot to do, but there's a lot more than you think, but it requires a lot of work to kind of get to that point. For example, tic-tac-toe is something you can do in Pony Town because of the party island, because of the house mechanic and everything that they introduced. But because you have to like ruin your house and you have to go through all these steps and stuff like that, it's better to just give us an entire party game island. Now there is a boat on the party island that like when you get into the original island or whatever, if you go down to the south, there is a little boat there. Make that like a party game island hub or something like that. You get it yourself as a party members, go to the party island, and then you can go to that boat and it will send you to like a menu or something to that effect that will allow you to do different mini games. Perhaps it's just an island and each island has like some kind of like path or something like that on it, and if you go down this path you get sent to like a mini game over here. If you go to this path, it sends you to a different mini game. Add stuff like tic-tac-toe. Maybe add something like some form of race or something like that. You would have to kind of rework some of the walking and stuff like that, because everyone kind of walks at the same speed. So, but that's besides the point. Give us some party game island and stuff like that. Give us some mini games to enjoy with some friends and stuff like that. Right now, it's literally just purely social. I think adding something a little bit gamey might change the whole feel of the game, but I think it'll be interesting to at least to try it and see what happens. If nothing else, I'm pretty sure Patreon members, they're allowed to get some of these features before anyone else. At least let them kind of test out some of this, and if they don't like it, then take in some whatever from that and go from there and decide on whether or not you want to continue making more of those mini games and for that party game island or whatever, or if you want to focus on other projects. So yeah, that's the 5 I had here today. So if you would be so kind as to do those wonderful things, such as like, subscribe, share, you know, those wonderful things. It would be wonderful if you did those wonderful things, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. That's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself. And I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful. Or become wonderful, then stay wonderful. I think I need a new outro.